Alright friends, T-Man, and I'm back with a brand new video. And this video, because I figured I'd do a video on this guy. His name is Hussein, right? Hussein. He's really popular, becoming popular YouTuber, whatever. You want to become popular, just get very low body fat. You too can be popular, okay? So yeah, I don't know if he did it artificially or if he did it naturally, getting rid of, this low body fat. The body that he's created, it's not really significant, but look at this. He changed it 10 inches. It's about some arm workout he's doing here, right? He's doing some arm workout. He gained seven inches or something. He went from 10 inches to 17.5 inches. Look how skinny he was here on the left. Call that genetics? Okay, well, whatever. So genetics don't play a role in building bodies, but then again, people do inject genetics to build fake artificial bodies, but whatever, man. Anyways, I'm just here to review this video, okay? I'm here to react to this video, okay? To this gym lifting slave, recruiting slave. Yeah, because he's like a type of recruiting slave too, right? He's a fitness slave. Anyways, sorry, I forgot to read the title. So this guy Hussein, he says, how I grew my arms by 7 inches fast. Okay.
Picture of me 3 years ago, back when I had stick for arms, and here's a picture.
So that's him 3 years ago, stick for arms. Yet, you see people lifting for 15, 20 years, and they just don't even look not even a quarter as good as this guy. Okay.
Of my arms right now.
Yeah.
I went from having...
And they all lift the same like him, concentrically, because I've watched the video.
Skinny 10-inch arms to now having 17.5-inch arms in less than 3 years. And I already know what you're going to say. No, it's not because of a syringe.
Sure, but...
I'm not accusing him of taking a syringe. I say people do certain things out there in public. I'm saying he looks good because he's got very low body fat. A lot of people pull that trick.
So in today's video, I'm going to go over the exact workouts that help me add over 7 inches to my arms fast.
Wow, so, it's crazy.
So that you can...
Look, if I lower my body fat, try to get it astronomically low, I'm going to look, of course, I'm going to look way better because there's more definition. You can see more definition.
Start getting compliments like these two.
I mean, you look natural, so it's like...
Now, before I go over the exact exercise...
That's embarrassing. They told Toby he looks natural and he's on steroids. Man, he must really look bad then.
That I do for my training, it's important to know how many times I train my arms every single week. I'm currently training 6 days a week, and my split looks something like this.
There you go. He's training 6 days a week, bro. That's endurance. That's performance. You cannot, real bodybuilding, you cannot train 6 days a week in real bodybuilding because it's based on eccentric exercise. You're building more muscle fibers, more myofibrillar growth.
So I usually like to start my week, which is usually on Monday, by doing chest.
So this type of training will make you very lean. It's good for making you lean. Can you expand the sarcoplasm lifting 6 days a week? Yes. Want to know why? It's based on endurance. So this is what's happening. So you work out 6 days a week like this guy, lifting concentrically, right? 6 days a week. Guaranteed. Your body fat is going to get low from lifting the way he does, and then you're going to increase the sarcoplasm. So you'll get a pumped look, and he's lifting concentrically. So he's not building any myofibrillar. There's no myofibrillar growth.
Shoulders and biceps. And then after that on Tuesday, I would usually do legs and abs. And then on Wednesday, I would usually do back and triceps. And then I would rest on Thursday. And then for the next 3 days, I would just do it again. Now, you might be wondering, why is he training?
You just keep repeating it again. Take 1 day off, then keep repeating it. Take 1 day off, keep repeating it.
Biceps with chest and triceps with back. Reason number one is because doing that way allows me to train both my bicep and my tricep with maximum intensity. Basically, when I train my chest...
Okay, so he's training them with maximum intensity concentrically. So what exactly is he getting there? What exactly is he getting there? See what I'm trying to explain to you?
My biceps are completely fresh, so I can really focus on training them hard. If I train chest with triceps, my triceps will already be exhausted from all the pressing movements, which limits how much I can actually train them. And on my back and tricep day, it's pretty much the same idea. And what I like to do to make sure my bicep and my tricep are recovering before hitting them again, I like to put a leg day in between my chest and bicep day and my back and tricep day. This way they have enough time to recover before I destroy them again. And reason number two of...
He destroys them again? It's not destroying anything. He's like block-haul lifting 7 days a week in the garage.
Why I train them this way is a lot more simple. It's just because the pumps are absolute.
There you go. The pumps are absolutely what?
be amazing. Whenever I have a chest bump,
There you go. So this is pump training, the chest and pumped. See, an eccentric exercise, we can get pumped, but we're not really looking for that. We're really looking for that tearing feeling. We're tearing muscles apart.
also have a bicep bump, which is sick from the front, and whenever I'm doing back and triceps, I have a sick bump from the back. So it just looks sick whenever you're training them. But yeah, now...
Right. This is fake training. I can prove it. You want to see? Because I post this in my community section. If you don't believe me, you can read it for yourself. It's true. It really is true. So, hold on. Yep. Let's go there. Posts. I just posted this. So, yeah, I don't know where it is now. I'll find it. 1 second. Here it is. This is it. So, well, it is not accurate. I love this one. The way they talk about this. Well, it is not accurate to say eccentric exercise only builds sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Research suggests that eccentric contractions, not concentric, are more likely to induce significant myofibrillar hypertrophy, muscle fiber growth, and potentially lead to more muscle damage. Now, concentric exercise can still contribute to muscle growth. No, it can't. But the mechanism may be more I like how they say this, and then they go, but maybe more focused on sarcoplasmic expansion. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Listen to what they say. Well, it is not accurate to say concentric exercise only builds sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It does only build that. We initiate concentrically, but it's the eccentric that actually damages and creates myofibrillar growth. You understand me? Squeezing muscles concentrically doesn't build. You don't squeeze a muscle and build a muscle squeezing it. That's just stupid. So research suggests that eccentric contractions, not concentric, are most likely. What do you mean most likely? They are to induce significant myofibrillar hypertrophy called muscle fiber growth and potentially lead to more muscle damage. Of course. What do you mean more muscle damage? It damages muscles eccentrically. It doesn't damage it concentrically. Go lift in the gym. That's why this guy can lift 6 days a week. Because if he was damaged, if you get damaged, you're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff. You want me to tell you what you're going to go through if you get damaged? Range of motion, weakness, soreness, DOMS, a whole bunch of stuff. And it'll last for 4 days, the first 4 days. You're not going to want to come back and lift if you got damaged and you're building myofibrillars. You understand me? So what is he doing? You'll see in his videos. It's all concentric. So concentric exercise, what does it do? Well, they're going to tell you it can still contribute to muscle growth. How does it contribute to it? By doing what? Well, it's focused on what? Sarcoplasmic expansion. See what I mean? It just does sarcoplasmic. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy refers to increase in fluid-based sarcoplasm within the muscle cell, potentially leading to swelling. Myofibrillar hypertrophy involves the actual growth of muscle fibers themselves, resulting in an increase in muscle strength and size. Muscle strength and size. We bodybuilders, we want to get myofibrillar hypertrophy because we want to increase muscle strength and size. Get it? Size, the bigger you get, the stronger you get. You get bigger, you get stronger. See what I mean? But if you get better lifting concentrically, you lift concentrically, you get better at lifting. That's all. You don't get stronger. You get better. You physically do not get stronger. You get better at lifting concentrically. Get it? And then you get this sarcoplasmic expansion. That's all you get there because you're going against gravity. You're not going with gravity. So it's all phony shit, bro. Anyway, this is from PubMed. You can read it. I put it in this section. You can read what it talks about here. See, eccentric contractions where muscle lengthens, contracting, often associated with greater muscle damage. What do you mean greater muscle damage? All muscle damage happens there. Compared to concentric contractions where the muscle shortens. Yeah, it shortens. So what's going on if it shortens? What's going on if it shortens? Nothing. The muscle damage triggers a repair process that can lead to increased protein synthesis and muscle growth. Myofibrillar hypertrophy, of course. Where do you think those contractile proteins came from? See what I mean? Here. Concentric contractions and sarcoplasmic expansion. Well, concentric contractions can contribute to muscle growth. Yeah, how does it contribute to it? Well, sarcoplasm. The mechanism may be more focused on sarcoplasmic expansion rather than myofibrillar hypertrophy because it's not focused on any myofibrillar hypertrophy. Get it? This could be due to the lower levels of muscle damage. There's no lower levels of muscle damage if it's shortening the muscle. There's no damage, it's shortening it. The mechanical stress experienced during concentric contractions compared to eccentric contractions, there's nothing going on there. I don't care what the computer says. It's your experience tells you that. You already know. I don't have to tell you. You get the idea. It's just fake. Anyways, let's go back to his video. I won't stay here all day.
Let you know my exact workout split, we can get into the fun part, the exercises.
This is sarcoplasmic training. This is 95% or 97 or whatever, 99% of the people in the gym, they are pump training. They're doing sarcoplasmic training. It's a type of fake bodybuilding. It's artificial muscle growth. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a type of artificial muscle growth. It makes you look big. It makes you look, it could expand massively and make you look massive, but it does not make you stronger. But it appears that you got stronger because you got better lifting concentrically, but you are weak eccentrically. Do you understand me, man? And you're weak physically because you didn't build any myofibrillar growth. So is he a natty? Well, he could be. He could be a real natty. He got really low body fat and he just is expanding the sarcoplasm. You understand me?
Arm guide is going to be split up.
Because, I mean, think about it. 6 days a week, you keep coming in every single day. You're lifting. You're going to be burning body fat, right? Look at him. You're going to be burning the outer part, the fat, by lifting, consistently lifting, moving around. Because you're doing, it's endurance work. It's performing, and it's endurance. It's performance. And guess what? He's going to wolf down some carbohydrates. And that's going to pump up the sarcoplasm. You understand me?
Into 3 different parts, the biceps, the triceps, and last part that a lot of people forget about.
Manage your roofing business on one plan.
Let's jump in. We'll start with probably my favorite muscle to train, the biceps. Now it's important to note that the biceps are made up of 2 different parts, the short head and the long head. And of course, both of these parts are going to be engaged with...
What about that? He's just regurgitating everything that every other fake influencer online is regurgitating. The long head, the short head. In eccentric exercise, we're not worried about long heads or short heads or anything like that. We simply overload it eccentrically, the muscle, so that we can damage it, micro tear it, and get it to build more myofibrillar growth. That's it.
Whatever bicep exercise you're doing. But what I noticed with time is that combining different exercises that have an emphasis on...
That's why he does these things what people would call accessory work. He's very weak. He's really skinny when you look at him. He says he has 17.5-inch arms. Maybe when they're pumped in the gym, he's measured them at 17.5. But him walking around, I really doubt it's 17.5. I would say probably more like 15.5, maybe 15 inches. Yeah.
Each head is the key to getting the best results possible. If you look at a regular standing dumbbell curl...
Look at him here at the side. He's wearing a very tight t-shirt, probably size like small. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, medium. But I honestly think it's a small t-shirt. So he wears it really tight so he can make himself look bigger. The whole point is to make yourself look bigger. How do you do that? You wear a very tight t-shirt and it gives the illusion of that. So then you look at his arms, the more definition he has, the lower the body fat, the more definition he's going to look. But in this case, he has to fool you because here's the thing. If he was to wear a t-shirt, a large t-shirt or extra large, he'd be buried in it. So you wouldn't be able to see what he looked like. He'd look like an average person. So this way he impresses you, tight t-shirt. And then he impresses you by taking off the shirt, and then you see him with low body fat. So it gives the appearance, the illusion, like that's what the fake bodybuilding world, that's the illusion on stage. When they get ripped, they look bigger than they are. See what I mean? Than them being on off season.
For example, you'll see that the movement is most challenging in the middle of the range around this point right here. However, it's been shown that to get the best possible...
Most challenging there? Where? Going up? It's more challenging going down because you have to control it. Really heavy.
results, it's better to pick an exercise that targets the biceps when they're in their stretch position near the bottom of the movement, which is why my go-to exercise.
Okay, I like the stretch position, but I don't see you doing very many stretch exercises there. But it doesn't really matter. He's adapted to these exercises.
Target the short head and get that bicep peak for the last year has been the machine preacher curl. And also because my coaching clients have been seeing crazy results with them too. But here's how I like to do that.
He has coaching clients. Coaching clients, they're going to all build sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles. Get it? You understand me? He's going to teach them how to build them sarcoplasmic-y. Yeah.
I adjust the bench so that the pad supports my whole tricep, then I curl up and pause at the top for one.
See, does he look like a real massively big guy? No, he's a small guy. Look at him sitting down here. You can see when you take a good look at him, he's a small person.
2 seconds. Then I lower the weight slowly to feel the stretch, and I like to pause at the lowest point for around 1.
Look, I'm not knocking him. He looks great with low body fat. I'm just saying he looks skinny. He looks average. He just looks better than these other people because he's got low body fat. See what I mean?
2 seconds as well. And usually I like to aim for 8 to 12 reps per set. And of course, I go to failure every single set. Now we move on to the long head. What I've noticed is that most people usually go for incline.
When you go to failure lifting concentrically, that's endurance. That's endurance.
Dumbbell curls to target the long head, which isn't bad, but same as before, the movement is going to be the hardest in the middle of the range with dumbbells. So for even better results, I like to do this exercise with cables to make it harder.
And here's another thing. How will you ever know if he is natural or not, or if he faked this whole ripped and pumped look with something? You'll never know. He's not going to admit it to you anyway. See what I mean? I'm not accusing him of anything. I just say he looks pretty average, just has very low body fat. And he's pump training because 6 days a week, bro. That's not damaging. That's not based on EIMD training, exercise-induced muscle damage training. You couldn't do that. It's impossible. It's impossible.
The stretch position at the bottom. I like to set the cable at the lowest point and attach a handle to it, and then I'll stand a few steps away and put my elbow slightly
Look at these exercises. Okay.
behind my body to fully stretch the long head. And then all I have to do from
Yeah, he's fully stretching it, but the stretch is very light. It's very light because he was able to lift it for a full concentric. Remember, if you can do this for a full concentric, that means it going down is going down 2 times lighter than it went going up heavier.
here is just curl the weight up while always keeping my elbows locked in place.
Remember, everything going down will feel a lot lighter because it's going with gravity. Now watch when it goes down. It was hard going up, but it goes down very easy.
I squeeze for 1 to 2 seconds at the top and then control the weight down. And same as before, I like to do between 8 to 12 reps for this exercise, and as well, I go to failure on every single set. And yeah, that's basically all I do for my biceps. Now we move on to the tricep.
Yes, if you people want to build an artificial physique, sarcoplasmic physique, lift concentrically, come in 6 days a week. All right, come in 3 days, take 1 day off, come in 3 days, take 1 off, 1 day off, come back, do it 3 days again, take 1 day off, come back 3 days. Just keep doing that, repeating that. And guess what? You'll have a very lean physique, right? Like him, very skinny and lean. You'll be very small, weak and skinny, and you'll be pumped at the same time. The sarcoplasm will have expanded.
Biceps. I honestly don't really like to train them. I don't know why, I just hate it. But they do make 2/3 of my arm, which means I can't really neglect
Why
them.
do you think they say there's two types of bodybuilding? One is artificial, based on concentric lifting, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Then there's real bodybuilding. It's based on eccentric lifting, myofibrillar growth. That's why there's 2 types of hypertrophy. One hypertrophy is artificial, it's called sarcoplasmic, and the other one is not artificial because it's based on myofibrillar growth. You get the difference, bro?
If I want to grow my arms. So this is how I train them. The tricep has 3 parts: the long head, the lateral head, and the medial head. And of course, just like the bicep, whenever you're doing a tricep exercise, all 3 heads are going to be used. But same as the biceps, there's 2 exercises that I found that helped me the most over the past years, and I'll start with the one for the long head. The long head is the thick part of the tricep, and to target it, you need to do exercises that fully stretch it, which means you need your arms over your head. And my favorite for this is the rope overhead cable tricep extension. It's a long ass name, but trust me, it works really well. So here's how I do it. So for this one, I like to set the cable at about waist height.
He says it took him 3 years to build this physique. Look at his physique. It's very ordinary. It just looks very ordinary. I don't know. He doesn't look like anything special to me, but that's just me, man. Whatever. I don't care.
To not break my neck while I'm setting up the exercise. I just grab the rope, step forward to create a bit of tension on my tricep, and from here, I just extend the rope overhead while keeping my elbows fixed close to my head and pause at the top for 1 to 2 seconds. And that's it. And exercise number 2 that I like to do for my tricep is the classic tricep row pushdown. And this exercise targets the lateral and medial head of your tricep, which is going to give your tricep that good horseshoe shape that everybody likes. But even though it's a classic, I've seen a ton of people do it wrong, so here's how I like.
Yeah, if you lower your body fat, then you're going to see that so-called horseshoe. Most people can't see it because body fat.
So first things first, I like to put the cable at the highest level possible. Whenever I'm doing this exercise, I also like to take a step back from the cable. This way I have tension on the tricep. And
see, he's just squeezing his muscles. All of his the majority of his exercise, he's just squeezing his muscles. It's just pump training, man. Get it?
the stretch position. But yeah, when I'm in this position, I keep my elbows stuck close to my side and fixed throughout the whole movement. And then I just extend my arms downwards in a slow controlled motion. And also when I get to the bottom, I like to pause for 1 to 2 seconds to really feel the contraction.
He likes to really feel the contraction in the pump phase. Yeah, this is ass cheek squeezing. I told you that before in my other videos. This is what everybody's doing in the gym, bro. I'm telling you, people love faking it.
And then I can go back up, controlling the weight slowly. I've seen a lot of people do this exercise, but the main problem I've noticed is that they don't keep their elbows in the same position, which means they're shifting the focus and the tension from their tricep over to their lats and essentially not doing the exercise right. So to get the best tension on the tricep, make sure you're keeping your elbows in the same position. And of course, I like to pause at the bottom just to feel the best contraction possible. And again, I like to do 8 to 12 reps on this exercise as well. And you probably already know it by now, I go to failure on every single set. And now last but not least, we have the forearms. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people tend to overlook their forearms whenever they're training their arms, but trust me, it is essential. And yeah, they can be pretty tough to grow, but here's how I do them. So for the forearms, I like to do these 3 exercises, and the first one for the flexors is the wrist curl. This one honestly is pretty simple to do. You can either do it with a barbell, dumbbell, or even a cable. I like to do them with cables a lot, but for this example, I'm going to use dumbbells. So the way to set it up is you get a bench, you just rest your forearms on a bench with your wrist hanging off the edge with the palms facing up, and all you have to do here is just slowly curl the weight up by flexing your wrist. And once you get to the top, same thing, I like to pause for 1 to 2 seconds to really feel the contraction and then lower it back down with control. I like to keep the movement slow for this one and also aim for 12 to 15 reps because again, the weight aren't too heavy, so I like to go a bit higher with the reps on this one. Now for the extensors, which are on the other side of the forearm, I like to do reverse wrist curls, which is exactly the same thing. You can either do them with a barbell, a dumbbell, or a cable, and here you just want to do the opposite, right? You have a bench, you set up your forearms on the bench with your palm facing down, and all.
They're average. He looks very average. He looks really skinny in this shirt. They're average, and look at him. Look at the amount of weight that he's using, these dumbbells for his forearms. You think that's going to build a myofibrillar? You have to be crazy. You think that's enough to damage those muscles? Like I told you before, man, all these influencers, they fake it. They do sarcoplasmic training. People that come in often to the gym, it's sarcoplasmic. That's all it is. It isn't based on myofibrillar growth. See what I mean? It's impossible. Impossible. So what did he do first? Probably originally, well, he just kept doing the same thing over and over again. He kept coming in often to the gym, lifting weights, getting his body fat to get as low as possible, right? Get muscular. And then he has a little pump. That's all, a little pump on. See what I mean? And in his videos, he kind of like, you can see these looks and these videos that he does. He does it in this lighting. It's all touched up stuff. Photoshop, a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I don't really care anyways. This video is just a reaction video. I personally am just going over his training. The training is sarcoplasmic. It's kind of obvious. And the more you do in the gym, the more this body fat's going to go, right? That's all. And then he just gets pumped, the sarcoplasm. He pumps up the sarcoplasm because he mentioned in his videos, he got all pumped up and everything. He doesn't talk about how I got micro damages and I'm sore for days and I got DOMs and it lasted days and I'm building myofibrillar growth. No, he never mentions any of that. What he says is I'm getting pumped. The pumps are amazing from behind and from the back, from the front. So there you go. That just indicates sarcoplasmic training. Get it? A type of artificial muscle growth. and low body fat. So he looks impressive because low body fat and he got pumped. Okay. Is he natural? Yeah, I don't know. He could be, yeah. I know a lot of people that would used to train like this in the gym. They come in often to the gym and they had low body fat. They look pretty muscular. Some looked very impressive. Especially their back area was more defined. And I was like, man, I would talk to them. I go, you look really impressive. But they would train a lot every single day in the gym. They would be there every day. I knew one guy coming twice a day. Training. They had low body fat, and they said it. They just go, you look better. We look better with low body fat. You look better with low body fat. Yeah, because you see definition and stuff, right? I mean, that's not based on real bodybuilding. Real bodybuilding is just building myofibrillar growth. That is, I would call this something you're doing externally, like trying to lower body fat or whatever. But this isn't real bodybuilding. Pumping up the sarcoplasm and getting low body fat is not bodybuilding. See what I mean? It's not bodybuilding.
You have to do is extend your wrist upward, pause for 1 to 2 seconds, and then drop it back down while controlling the weight. Same thing, I like to do 12 to 15 reps on this one, again, because the weight isn't too heavy.
Again, it's concentric. There's no eccentric here.
And now the last exercise is my favorite probably of all time. If you watch my videos, you've seen me do it thousands of times, which is the hammer curl. And this exercise is going to build up the brachialis, which is a muscle that is in between the bicep and the tricep, and is going to give your arms that fuller, wider look. So essentially...
But did he actually build the brachialis, or did he just get pumped up the sarcoplasm? See what I mean?
All you have to do for this one...
I have a video in my intro. That last video where you see me in black, I look massive. I did like 5 6 weeks sarcoplasmic training. Gained 20 pounds of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Look massive. My traps came out. Everything started popping out. Why? I wasn't focused on what he's doing. I just simply worked out once a week, and after 5 weeks, gained 20 pounds of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. But if I came in like him, I probably would have gotten lean and still pumped the sarcoplasm. See what I mean? That's totally different. I come in all the time. I probably wouldn't have gotten as big as I did, but I definitely would have got maybe 10 pounds in the sarcoplasm and get much more leaner. See what I mean? But I'd be small like him. He's small. He has to wear a tight shirt to look big because he's small. That's the whole point. He gives the illusion.
Just grab the dumbbells with your palms facing each other and curl them up in a controlled motion. Always keep your elbows close to your body, exactly like...
See, he switched shirts now. Look, he's wearing one of these compression. He's wearing a compression shirt. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like that's even more ridiculous. He's wearing a compression shirt. Fuck.
You're doing for the other bicep exercises, and also focus on feeling the contraction. This is going to be crucial. And yeah, that's
everything he does is to impress you. That's the whole point.
Basically how I train my forearms. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention, and that is honestly more important than the workouts themselves, which is food, recovery, and supplements. As a natural, you need to make sure you're giving your body the recovery it needs to be able to grow. Training hard without proper recovery is, in my opinion, honestly like revving your car while being on park. You're doing something, but you're not really going anywhere, all right? So make sure you're sleeping at least 6 to 9 hours per night. That's the usual range that I recommend. But it also doesn't just stop at sleep, all right? You need to also make sure that your nutrition is on point because it really plays a big role. Your body obviously needs the right fuel to be able to rebuild and grow from those workouts. So make sure you're eating enough calories and 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to make sure you repair those muscles.
No, really? I like how he says to repair those muscles, but you didn't damage anything, so there's nothing there to repair because you're an endurance athlete, a performing endurance lifter. You're coming in 6 days a week. What are you talking about?
Now for the fun part, supplements. When it comes to supplements, if you're a natural athlete like me, I definitely recommend you take creatine and Turk Max. It's a natural...
And so why do you need Turk Max and creatine? If you're just working out and you're eating some carbs, pumping up the sarcoplasm, do you need Turk Max? No. You don't need any of these things. Creatine, maybe to add more water to the muscle. Maybe that's what he's doing, creatine. That's why he has some extra pump there. Keep low body fat, work out 6 days a week, keep the body fat low and get pumped. Eat some creatine and some carbs. That's it. He's really small.
Supplement that is going to help you with muscle.
I don't know how tall he is and how much he weighs, but he looks really small. And I don't buy he has 17.5-inch arms. That's a lie. He's lying to you. They're more like 15 inches, maybe pumped. Like I said, he probably pumped them one day, he tried to measure them. He tried to show something in a video or something, I don't know. Or he's just lying. I don't really care anyway.
Growth and recovery, and we also have a money back guarantee, so if you're not satisfied with the product, you can literally get your money back, and on top of that you also get a $20 gift card. So yeah, if you want to try it out, you can use code Usain at checkout, which is going to give you 15% off. I'll put the link in the bio. And that's it. That was my full guide on how to grow bigger arms fast. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more.
So that was this whole thing on building arms really fast, big arms really fast. Wow. Okay. I didn't see really anything much there. Cable machine, something, some dumbbells. I didn't really see much. Whatever. I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Just ridiculous, man. More fitness influencing baloney.